If you're on the personal development path, you've probably come across or are currently watching red pill content on social media platforms. It was very helpful for me to start watching this content after I went through my divorce about 5 years ago. It really helped to educate me on the harsh realities that I now had to face as a single dad going into this next chapter in my life. It also educated me on some of the unfair laws that are still stacked up against men in North America and how to protect yourself. But what I really liked was that it promoted growth and development as a man in today's society. You know, you had to focus on your purpose, building all the areas in your life so that way you can bring value to the world and also potentially attract a woman that you could spend, a high value woman that you can spend the rest of your life with. So I really liked that aspect, and it's what really kept me going on my personal development journey at the beginning. And then I also liked how it started to show some of the toxic feminism that was starting to grow around the world, and how as men, how to recognize it and how to protect ourselves from it. But over the years, it's actually turned quite toxic, to be honest. And I don't really watch red pill content anymore because they get so many things wrong, especially around women, dating women, and how to treat women in general. I want to talk about a few things that I absolutely disagree with, and things that if you see, you should just completely avoid altogether. So the first red flag that I want to talk about is a quote that's commonly mentioned in the red pill space, and that is, "She's not yours, it's just your turn." It's so cringy whenever I hear this quote, because typically it's mentioned by men who have been hurt in the past, who've had their hearts broken, who have never recovered from that relationship, who have never forgiven themselves or their ex for that whole situation and have been able to let go and move on. And they now live in fear with this mindset, thinking that any woman that they're going to be with is for a limited period of time, and it's just a matter of time until she decides that, you know, she doesn't want me anymore, she's just going to move on and pick another guy. Which, to be honest, are there women out there like that? Yes. But again, it boils back to the starting point, which is, what type of women are you choosing in the first place? You know, a lot of these guys don't even talk about how to find a high quality woman. Yes, they talk about building yourself up, acquiring status, acquiring wealth, building yourself up as a high value man, but they're doing it in such a way that is attracting the very type of women that is absolutely not a fit for a long-term relationship. And hence why they get into these relationships who are dealing with women who are essentially status chasers. You know, like they're gonna get with this one guy who's got a Lamborghini, but as soon as they meet another guy with a Ferrari, they're ready to leave and just jump on to the next man, right? So you gotta see through the lines a bit with some of these influencers. If they're talking about she's not your turn, she's not yours, it's just your turn, stay away from these influencers, because these are hurt men who are hurting other people with their rhetoric. So you'd never want to get into a relationship with this fear that she's just going to lose you. That's not indicative of a masculine man. So if anything, that is being very feminine, being fearful and not being stoic and strong. So stay away from that bullshit. Second red flag is they talk and preach about having as much experience sleeping with women is going to help you be able to build a long-term relationship, because by then you'll have more experience in the bed, you'll become a lot better at pleasing a woman, and not only that, you'll learn more of the female nature, so that way you can really build a long-term relationship with a woman. That's absolute horseshit. The only thing that you are learning from hookup culture is you're learning how to pick up women and hooking up with them. There's nothing in hookup culture that teaches you how to have a long-term, deep connection with a woman, just because of its nature in itself. It's short-term, it's a situationship, it's friends with benefits. You're not working on any of the skills or putting yourself, you and you're the person you're dating, in a position to really learn who each other is as a person, and if there's any potential to actually be together as a life partner and potentially have a family. So this whole promotion of, you know, sleeping with as many women as possible to get experience is absolute trash. That's another red flag. Third red flag, and this is where I see it becoming a lot more prevalent nowadays, is a lot of these red pill influencers are highlighting women demonstrating degenerate behavior, also highlighting the worst examples of women who are not the best fit for a long-term relationship, and generalizing that all women act this way and to beware of them. Like, I think this is what's promoting this whole movement of MGTOW, men going their own way, when in reality, there's so many women out there that are the complete opposite of what they're showcasing on these podcasts. My experience after my divorce, I've been able to date wonderful women for long-term relationships and have deep, intimate connections that's full of loyalty, respect, support, and a safe place to be vulnerable. None of these guys ever showcase any of that on their podcasts. And so if you believe in all of this rhetoric, you're setting yourself up not just for failure, but you're also putting yourself in a position to potentially hurt other women and keep this vicious cycle going that's splitting or keeping men and women further and further apart as this rhetoric continues to be followed. So those are some of the red flags that I wanted to share with you around red pill content. To be honest, I don't watch any of that stuff anymore. I've taken what I've needed, which is really build yourself up as a man, make yourself aware of all of the divorce laws, and be cautious when you are getting into a relationship, because yes, there are some risks involved, and also making men aware of some of the toxic feminism that is really not supportive towards men in general. But outside of that, there's so much negative stuff that there's not really a lot of good red pill content anymore. That's just my thoughts. Curious to hear what you guys think of that. Leave it in the comments below. But thanks for watching my video, and I'll see you guys in my next one. Peace out.